or anything like that. Sit back and drink tea while talking about rich people, diviners. Bless you. What's up, guys? My name is Natalie, and welcome to my Nook of Novels. In today's video, I am going to be talking about all of the things that I read in the month of August. I say all the things, I only read 2 things, but I'm also currently reading 2 books that I'm almost finished with. So I read the majority of them during August, and I feel like I have a lot of things to say about those books. So I'm just gonna go ahead and include them in this wrap up. So before I get started, I do want to mention the fact that this is gonna be my last monthly wrap up that I'm planning to do. Unless for some reason this video does crazy well and a lot of people love it, then we'll see, but most likely I am going to be switching to seasonal wrap-ups. So every 3 months I'm just going to do a wrap-up of everything that I've read across the last 3 months, because I feel like it's more efficient, it gets the point across better. I feel like also sometimes I'm like scrambling and scrounging for things to say about certain books, especially like during the months while I'm doing school. It makes it so much harder to actually make a lot of progress in what I'm reading, and so I feel like I will have a lot more to actually talk about if I do try monthly wrap-ups and make it more of a seasonal thing as opposed to doing it every single month. And also it's more fun for me that way. I feel like me doing these videos less often, it makes me enjoy them more. So that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into what I read in August. And so the first thing I finished was Saga Volume 9 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. And so this is obviously the 9th volume in this series now. So we're well into the midst of the action and the drama, and we're definitely there in terms of a lot of dramatic and crazy things happening. And so this book is very sad compared to a lot of the other volumes in this series, and I feel like this book especially sets up for volume 10 in terms of having a crazy kind of shift in the pacing, I guess. Not really the pacing, just kind of like the direction that these volumes have been going so far. Just the character dynamics are so much different at the start of Saga Volume 10, and the situation that they find themselves in just completely shifts. They're in a very different kind of boat, and just things are a lot different. And I want to say there's been a lot of other time jumps throughout the series, but I think the one here, it's a year and a half, which isn't like a crazy time jump, but all of their circumstances are vastly different than in all the other time jumps. So it just makes it feel like a very different vibe in the 10th book, which I really enjoy. I like that this ending kind of allows for that to happen, and it allows for kind of a change of pace. And I was almost about to get worried that this was going to start feeling repetitive, like they're kind of just constantly running away from one thing after another, but that's really not what's happening at all. It's very like original feeling, and it feels like we're kind of entering into new territory once again, and I'm really here for it. So this one is definitely, things are going well in this series, I would say, and I'm liking the direction that they're taking things. And the next thing I finished in the month of August was Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi, and so this is something I listened to as an audiobook. This was a reread for me. I originally read this book physically, I want to say a few years ago now, around 2021 sounds about right, and this is something that I actually really enjoyed when I first read it, and I enjoyed it a lot now as well. I gave it 4 stars, I think, both times. It was obviously a very different experience listening to the audiobook, because when I'm listening to a fantasy audiobook, I'm not really very good at being attentive with my listening and, you know, actually knowing what's going on in the book. I'm not very good at keeping up with the little details of things that they're talking about, because you miss one thing in a fantasy and all of a sudden you don't really know what's going on anymore. But I was definitely able to kind of pick up on the gist of things in this, especially having read it before. It definitely felt like I knew what was happening, at least from memory, if not from like knowing from listening to it. And this one is really fun. It has a lot of fun like kind of action scenes in it, and there's one scene in particular in this book that really sticks in my mind as being so much fun, and it's the scene where it's basically the Hunger Games but like on little boats. They're in this like giant arena that they like fill up with water, and they make these people fight to the death on these boats that are floating across it, and it is so much fun. They're like on teams, and they have to like drown the other opponents and take their boats down and sink them. And so my boyfriend just informed me that apparently that's a real thing people did back in like Rome or Greece or something. They like genuinely filled the Colosseums with water and put boats in them, and made them fight each other. I didn't know that was a thing, but I was gonna say that's really cool. I don't know if cool is the word. It's very interesting. And it was really cool in the book for sure. Like it was very fun to like experience that. I don't know why I didn't realize that was like a real thing, but that was really fun. I really enjoyed being like in that scene, and the drama of like the Hunger Games kind of stuff. Fighting to the death is definitely a very fun idea. It's a very action filled. Something about it is just so interesting because obviously only one set of them can live. So they're forced to kill all these people in order to survive, to save this entire race of people. So the stakes are really high in this book. And I also really like the magic system and the world building, because even though obviously I'm not good at listening to fantasy audiobooks, I feel like I was really easily able to grasp how everything worked in the very beginning of this book. Not even just from memory, but from like listening to the book itself. As I was going, I feel like I was really easily able to pick up on everything. It starts off with a kind of training montage sort of thing where the main character pretty much grows up in this studio where this woman is like teaching all these children how to like fight with a staff. And so that's her like big thing that she like knows how to do. That's her like major skill that she uses throughout her journeys throughout this book. And it really sets up again the magic system and everything, because there is technically no magic in the start of this book, but there's this type of people who have white hair, and so all of those people are considered diviners. Bless you. There's this type of people who they have white hair and they're called the diviners. And these are people who they would have been born with magic, but I guess one of the kings was able to like take it all away for some reason. I'm not sure how that works. I feel like if I listened more closely, I would have realized, but they took the magic away and he like killed all of the adults who were able to wield magic to completely banish it. And now none of the children are able to have magic anymore. And so they have to like go through this whole like process to bring magic back, and it's this long like journey. They have to find these artifacts and bring them all together and do this ritual, and it's very fun. Has those classic fantasy vibes, but it has like a fun spicy element to it. I don't really know how to explain it, but it feels very original. It has an enemies to lovers aspect as well, and there's just so much fun in this book. It has a lot of personality. It's also based on African mythology, which I think is really cool, and I just had a lot of fun listening to this book and kind of going back and recollecting everything. It was a really fun time to kind of relive this book. Now, onto the things that I am currently reading. So the first one I have is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings, and I'm on page 355 of this. So I still have about 80 pages left, and I'm really having a good time with this. Something that I want to mention about the main character is, so all the characters in this are very, very rich. They are very wealthy people who they have like inherited money. So they don't really have jobs or anything. Their parents pretty much pay for everything for them. And so it makes for a really fun setting because these characters like can basically do whatever they want. Like they have no bounds or limits to their adventures, the things they want to do. Like they can literally just do anything that they want because they have money. But the main character, one of her like major traits about her is that she knows everything about clothing. Every single person, she will look at them and can tell you exactly the name of their outfit, what they're wearing, the brand, the exact outfit, the patterns, the colors, what it's like exactly called to a T. And that's like really fun, but also it kind of gets so annoying sometimes because you don't know what she's saying. Like she's spewing gibberish. I really want to find an example of this so that you guys can understand what I mean. And the book actually opened up with this exactly. And so it kind of almost made me think that the writing of this book was going to be really like annoying and over-explanatory, but it turns out it's literally just Magnolia Parks' personality. So the first like sentence of this book, I like this. He tugs on my dress coming up behind me. Black Amiri Thrasher jeans, extra torn knees, obviously, black Vans, and the black and white Raglan tee from Givenchy. And so that's the first sentence. And then a lot of them are like way more descriptive. I plucked the sky blue Le Chicoto, no, I don't even know how to say that word, no-eyed nubuck shoulder bag from Jacquemus from the 4th level of my handbag shelf. A lot of them are like that, and it's like things you can't even pronounce. So many like colors and details, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I reading? Sometimes it'll be like 3 things like that in a row, and it just kind of gets to be a lot. That part is not super enjoyable. I like that it's a fun personality trait of hers. It's definitely very unique, and I've never read a character like that, but it's kind of annoying to be in her head sometimes. sometimes. But other than that, this book is so fun and like juicy, very dramatic. So the concept of this book is Magnolia Parks and BJ Ballantyne basically grew up together. They've known each other their whole lives, and they started dating when they were 15. And then when they were 19, BJ cheated on her, and they've just never been the same ever since. She refused to take him back, and so they basically are in this stalemate where both of them are still in love with each other, but BJ constantly goes and sleeps with other girls, and Magnolia dates other people to get back at him to make him jealous. And it's just so much. If these people would just like have a conversation at any point in this book, they would be together again. Like, they would be so happy together. It's so insanely frustrating because you know throughout the whole duration of this book that these people are gonna end up together no matter what. And I haven't gotten to the ending yet, so like I don't know for sure, but I know for sure. Like, there's no way you can't, because they just belong together. They love each other so much. Every single thing that they do is based on the other person. I guess they're just so hurt by each other that it makes everything they do seem so illogical and crazy, and it's just so annoying and frustrating, like I said, because they just need to speak. They just need to be like, hey, by the way, I'm in love with you, and it would solve everything. Magnolia Parks also starts fake dating this guy named Tom England, who is essentially supposed to be the ideal boyfriend, right? So he's very attractive, he's very kind and loving. He doesn't, you know, do terrible things to her like BJ does, but he also kind of doesn't deserve Magnolia in a way. He treats her so well, he's so kind to her. She considers him this nice, warm, like safe place. Magnolia is just obviously still so in love with BJ that it's kind of like, no matter what, I just don't think that Magnolia ending up with anyone else would ever make anyone happy, because she's just always going to be stuck on BJ, like no matter what. And so again, like, it's a really frustrating read, but at the same time, like, it's so fun and juicy, because the Magnolia and BJ moments, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I get it. Like, I see why these people are so obsessed with each other, because they just go together so well, and they like match each other's personalities and their vibes, and everything about this is just so much fun. And these characters are so like, bantery and witty, and like all the friends too kind of like make fun of the situation between Magnolia and BJ. They poke fun at BJ, they kind of shit on him about everything that's happened, and it's just so much fun. The friend group dynamics are amazing, and all of the characters just have so much love for each other in obviously romantic and friendship ways, and there's just so many things going on here. And Magnolia is honestly like, such like a star of the show kind of girl, because literally everyone in this book is in love with her. It's insane, and again, so much fun. It's such like a sit back and drink tea while talking about rich people kind of thing. It's fun too how they're all over the news and stuff. Like, there's always paparazzi like following these people around and snapping secret pictures of them and like talking about them online and stuff, and it just gives celebrity drama vibes. Again, it's a lot of fun, and so far I would say my rating for this book would be roughly 4 stars. It's really fun, really enjoyable, and very juicy. And finally, the other book that I'm currently reading is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V. Schwab. I almost said by Magnolia Parks, but that is not who wrote this book. I don't think she could even write a short story if she tried. I think it would turn out awful. But this book is so amazing so far. It's very slow burn, and so there kept being moments where I was like, oh, now we're getting to kind of an actiony, the plot is picking up, and then it just didn't. There's really not much plot in this at all, but the vibes are very there. You kind of just watch these people experience what eternity is really like, because, you know, they turn into vampires and then they just spend their lives they do different things, right? There's 3 main characters. One is Charlotte, one is Sabine, and one is Alice. Now, Sabine was turned into a vampire in, I don't remember, I want to say like the 1300s or something. It was like a very long time ago. Okay, so the start of this book takes place in 1532, and that is where the first character is introduced, and she has this major character transformation, and I'm not going to spoil anything, so I'm not really going to get into any of that, but her character arc was very surprising to me, and she kind of has a very major impact on the lives of the people around her, and she's more of like a loner. I don't know, I just can't imagine spending eternity the way she does, because it's just really hard to understand and like be in her head. It's very different from the experience of the other characters, I would say. Alice was turned into a vampire in 2019, and that's where like the present day setting of this book is. It's kind of her being turned into a vampire and just coming to terms with what she is now, and then she goes and she finds Charlotte, who she believes turned her into a vampire, and Charlotte goes back and tells her story of when Sabine originally turned her into a vampire and what their life was like together, dealing with the fact that like the rest of eternity humanity was going to be like her and Sabine as vampires together. And so this has a lot of elements where you're kind of grappling with the humanity of these characters, because obviously they thirst for blood, they kill people constantly, and they're like grappling with that themselves, right? Because some of the characters think it's kind of a game. They like enjoy the hunt. Some of them hate killing. They think it's awful. And it's kind of like a mixture of, you know, the spectrum of like, what is it to be human? Are killers people too? Are we losing ourselves in eternity? Are we the same person that we were hundreds of years ago? Are we even ourselves anymore? And so it's very deep, it's very poetic and beautiful, and it really makes you think about, again, humanity and also like kind of what you are to the people around you as well, what they see you as. And it's very deep, I would say. It's a lot of fun, and I'm excited to almost be done with this because I've been reading this for so long now, but it was definitely a very enjoyable read while it lasted. Well, it's still lasting. I'm not done with it yet, but it's been a very fun time, I would say. So definitely having a lot of fun with this one so far as well. And this will probably also sit at a solid 4 stars. So very consistent reading month, I would say. 4 stars for all 4 of those books. But yeah, so that is everything that I read in the month of August. Finished and started reading. Well, I've also started reading a couple other books. Technically, I am reading Unravel Me, Saga Volume 10, and Dungeon Crawler Carl to my boyfriend. And then for school, I'm also reading Americana by, I don't remember her name, Ngozi Adichie. Not sure how you pronounce that, is like the second names. That is now everything that I read / started reading in the month of August. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then please hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to, and hit the notification bell if you would like to see the other videos that I post on Thursdays with reading sprints on every first and third Monday of the month. My Bookstagram, my Goodreads, and my book talk will all be linked in the description of this video if you guys would like to check out any of those. I'll also have some of my recent videos linked in the description box as well, including my September Wheel of TBR and some other fun recent videos as well. So if you guys would like to check out any of those, then those will be down there for you guys. But yeah, let me know also in the comments of this video what you think of doing seasonal versus monthly wrap-ups, or if there's anything like specific you guys are wanting to see for my wrap-ups, or any other like specific videos in general. Please do let me know, or DM me, anything like that. I'll be more than happy to try out any sort of challenge or anything like that you guys would like to see from me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!